Hey guys, this is Waffles, and today we're going to be taking a look at a massive 4v4 battle played on a map called Desert Flats. Now you may not recognize this map from multiplayer, and that's because this map is normally not available on multiplayer, but you can actually download it at a link down below. And we're also going to be taking a look at the Rebel faction, and we've actually managed to get the Rebel faction into multiplayer. So let's go over the units and the players really quickly. As well, this is going to be an all-arm battle. If you can see it there, ARM. That's our clan right now. That's Armata clan. So we have the rebels over here, commanded by Baron von Wilhelm. And what I think is actually pretty cool about this battle as well is not only are we all mostly different nations, but we're all from actually a different country. Like Baron von Wilhelm over here, he's from Turkey. Skolatoy's from the Ukraine. Leo's from the Netherlands. Saiyan is from France. Brancaleone, the clan leader, he's from Spain. I mean, no, he's from Italy. He's playing as Spain. Black Knight is actually from Greece. How Do You Do is actually from the US. And myself, Waffles, I'm from Cuba, but I live in the US. So there's that. But let's take a look at the Rebel faction really quickly. So one of the cool things about this faction is you can recruit this unit called Hussites, which are normally found in the campaign map near Bohemia in HRE territory. So this is a really good skirmishing unit. They're supposed to be like a Pavis crossbow unit, but they don't actually have the Pavis. But they're very strong with high missile damage, but they just cost so much. They cost like $12.50 per unit. So the rebels can recruit Lanzknecht pikemen, they can recruit Swiss pikemen, you can get a general's bodyguard, you can get Polish knights, as well as a bunch of other knights like chivalric knights and imperial knights. And you can get this cool unit right here called Free Company Men-at-Arms, which are basically like dismounted noble knights from France, or English knights from England. You can get Albanian cavalry, which is actually just like Stratiots, just with a different name. And you can get Serbian hussars, which are basically just like the regular hussars, just with a different name. And if you take a look over here at Saiyan's army, he's taking Allen Lights, so that's also a unit that you can recruit. And you can get mercenary Pavis crossbowmen, which look very similar to the normal ones, except for the headgear and like the boots and the greaves. You can get religious fanatics and chivalric knights, as I mentioned. Let's see, you can get unhorsed knights. This unit is really cool. It's usually only available in the campaign when you play as when you play a crusade and you recruit them. And you have some dismounted mercenary knights over here. So Spain's army has 4 Pavis crossbows, 2 pike militia, a bunch of conquistadors, chivalric knight cav, and Branca really likes to play with swordsman militia. Generally speaking, I don't, because they don't have the good morale trait. But I do love conquistadors and dismounted feudal knights, and that's what he's bringing. And over here is my army. As Papal States, I usually like to bring more than 4 Pavis crossbows because they can recruit them, so I usually get Pavis crossbow militia and Pavis crossbowmen. I'm taking some Knights Templars, some Knights Hospitallers, and the General's Bodyguard. And the way I like to deploy Papal States, well, one of the many ways is I like to put Papal Guard on the flanks and my good morale infantry on the flanks, and then I put infantry that doesn't have as much good morale, like dismounted broken lances. I like to put them in the center, right there with the cross. And yeah, that's one of the ways I love to play Papal States. Now, my opponent, How Do You Do? He knows that I'm going to bring more than 4 Pavis crossbows. He usually knows that I'm going to bring 5, so he's going to go ahead and bring 6 skirmishers. He's going to bring dismounted French archers, Scots Guard, And for his cavalry, he's going to bring a general's bodyguard, chivalric knights, and a unit of noble knights. And for his infantry, he's going to have dismounted feudal knights and a bunch of regular chivalric knights as well over here. So Black Knight, he's playing Venice. He has 4 Pavis crossbows. He has 1 unit of Stradiots, a general's bodyguard, knights hospitallers, and he's got pikes on his flanks with dismounted feudal knights. He's got some Venetian heavy infantry and more pikes at the flanks. So he really wants to protect his flanks from cavalry. Next up we have Leo 2000. He's also got 4 Pavis crossbows. He loves his Teutonic Knights and his pike and infantry combo. So this is a really strong formation where when you have pikemen along with heavy infantry protecting them. And it's usually best to go just like this, where you have 2 heavy infantry right in front of the pikemen. And the last army we're going to take a look at is Skolatoy. And he's going to be bringing 5 peasant crossbows from the Moors, which is a great unit, which it can sometimes really out-skirmish regular Pavis crossbows. And I think that's because these guys fire a little bit faster than Pavis crossbows. Like, I think their animation is a little bit faster. So Skolatoy is going to be bringing dismounted Christian Guard and urban militia, mostly in his center, and dismounted Christian Guard on his flanks. So he's going for the weaker infantry in the center and stronger infantry on the flanks. He doesn't have any camels, which I would say would be a bad move, especially in the desert where they get a combat bonus. So he's going to go ahead and bring the Christian Guard for his cavalry. And let's see what happens. So I really like this map just because it has palm trees and it has like this the cracked dried land. It's a lot it's a nice change from grassy flatlands, which, like, I'd say 90% of our games usually take place on, just because we don't want the other teams to have an advantage in the landscape or the terrain. And we have some movement for the Moors. He's going to move up his Pavis crossbows, and Branco's actually going to move up his crossbows as well. One of the ways that I love to fight is looking at my army from the side. I think it gives you a more accurate representation of whether your units are lined up straight or not relative to your enemy. We have Skolatoy moving up his peasant crossbows to one side. He wants to try to get a sneaky range advantage on the Hussites. And let's watch these guys fire. These guys have some awesome steel crossbows. It looks like Baron von Wilhelm is going to go for a calf strike on those peasant crossbows. He's going to just avoid them. And it looks like he's going to get a nice charge into the peasant crossbows. Moors are going to respond by sending some more Christian Guard, and it looks like, yeah, the Albanian cav is routing already. So, wow, it looks like we have a charge here from Venice. It looks like they're going to attack right away. They're not even going to skirmish. Let's see, is there anyone else joining in the fight? Yeah, it looks like the HRE is joining in. God, I love Teutonic Knights. Wow, it is just a mess over here. Spain and Venice are really trying to kill each other. Let's see, is there anything going on here? Yes, there is. Looks like Moors is also now attacking. And it looks like HRE is also going in.
Our men have slain the
Oh man,
general.
Moor's general is now
Sent
dead.
his men running back to the desert.
That is not good for his team. I don't know why, but I'm finding it a little bit hard to commentate on 8 armies all fighting. And it looks like France is whose general was that? Oh, that was one of the generals. Oh. Yeah, so 2 generals just died from the rebel faction. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on. We have some Free Company men-at-arms flanking around on the rebel position. Oh no, these guys are gonna break. Yeah, his general's dead. And we have a massive pike versus pike wall going on here in the center. Saiyan and Leo. Meanwhile, myself and Hauda have not yet engaged. We're kind of like testing the waters to see who survives. So as you can see, it's just a mess everywhere. And it looks like Baron von Wilhelm has cleaned up the Moors for the most part. And it looks like Spain has been mostly successful against Venice. It looks like they're regrouping over here in back. And it looks like France is now gonna attack me. So I'm just trying to set up my battle line over here for this impending French attack. And in the meantime, my ally Brancaleone, he's kind of setting up a defensive formation on this side with his Pavis. And he's going to go ahead and try to help his ally, Saiyan. So he's going to charge into some crossbows. He's trying to get rid of the crossbows. Which is really good because one of the ways that you can kill cav easily is by positioning your crossbows right behind your pike line or your infantry line and just shooting at enemy cav.
Only half the enemy force remains.
And right now I'm just like, nope, I am not gonna fight you over here, Hauda. I'm trying to get closer to my allies so they can help me if I need it. Looks like Brancaleone's trying to take down HRE's pike wall, both from the front and the back.
We must push our advantage.
And finally, we're engaging the French over here. Oh man, and there goes HRE's general. And how does it get some nice infantry charges here on my line? We have some chivalric knights trying to flank around. And we have Venice here trying to regroup themselves. I was really surprised that he was able to regroup himself so nicely. But it looks like HRE is done. They've been broken. And it's just Spain over here left, and some rebel units. Yeah, we have more reinforcements coming in as well from the rebels. And here comes Venice. They're going to try to help their ally.
Lord protect us. The enemy flees.
Oh, and that's
the
my
battle.
general dying right now.
Run down those worthless peasants.
One of the things I like to do is put my Papal Guard in loose formation, or just a lot of infantry actually. I find it helps give me more time to fight. So Howda's trying to flank around, especially over here, but he's finding a lot of resistance, and I'm also shooting at his cav. And we have Venice coming in for a second engagement against Spain. Looks like Branca's Conquistadors took a nasty charge there. And now they're going to get a nasty charge from the Venetian heavies and the Feudal Knights. And even the pikemen are getting in on this. And we have Baron von Wilhelm coming in to try to save the day. And they break the pikemen, that's great.
The enemy, praise to our lord. Our men have slain the enemy general. Now his men will lose heart.
Wait, so I think that was the Venetian general that just died. Man, this battle is crazy. Baron von Wilhelm coming in again. And he just routs the Venetians. And he's starting to rout the French as well. Looks like there's some survivors. Looks like the general for Venice is still alive, actually. And France is actually still alive. We have the Great Cross coming in here to avenge their general. Looks like they're going to break the French archers. And it looks like it's just the Scots Guard left over.
The enemy flees the battle. Run down those worthless peasants. Victory is ours. Let victory be a salve on our wounds.
And there's the battle,
Proclaim
guys.
the name
Hope
of
you
the
enjoyed
Holy
it.
Cross.
So, Leo actually got the most kills. He got 1,006 kills. Nice job, Leo. And also nice job, Baron von Wilhelm. As far as my kills, you can see what I got here. Looks like one of my cav units and one of my dismounted broken lances got the most kills. So I hope you enjoyed the battle, guys, and see you next time.